Hello Action Queens, my name is Dumi Mokokwe. I'll be interviewing queens who are taking action towards fulfilling their life purpose, believing that you will be encouraged and inspired on your personal journey. We continue talking to Leyonie Marais, who survived multiple sexual assaults, to find out why she took so long to speak up about the abuse. Remember to subscribe to our channel. Thank you if you've already subscribed. Now click on the notification button so you can be notified when a new video is uploaded.
The reason why someone once asked me, why did it take you so long to come forward to speak out? And I calmly took a breath and I said to her, people, victims of abuse, they come forward on two occasions. One, when they feel safe to do so. And two, to whom do they come forward? To people who make them feel safe to come forward. So if your son or your daughter or your nephew or anyone in your family hasn't come to you yet to say, I've been violated, it's because one, they haven't found that safe space. And two, they haven't found that person that makes them feel safe to come forward to. So I take it upon myself.
How do you create a safe environment? Because now I'm thinking, am I a safe person to the people that are around me? How do I become that person that my children can come to, that my friends and family can come to?
So when I advise people, this is what I say. Firstly, if it's your child, nothing needs to be, your child needs to know that there's nothing that I say and do that will make my mother love me less. That's the first thing. Because I was told that if anyone finds out about this, what are they going to think about you? So the child needs to know in the back of their mind that no matter how ugly it is, because the perpetrator tries to make it look like a secret. And they make it look like if you come forward with a secret, they're not going to love you anymore. So you need to instill in your child that there's no secret that is dirty enough that will make me love you less. That's the first thing. The second thing, and with social media, us always being so busy, we tend to overlook that. When my son comes to me and says, Mommy, I want to talk to you, I put my phone down and I close my laptop. And I make eye contact. My child needs to know that nothing is more important than him. If he wants to speak to me, if she wants to speak to me, I'm going to give them my undivided attention. So for me to create a safe space, my child needs to know there's nothing anyone says or does that's going to make me love you less. No matter what they do to you or no matter what they tell you, if I'm going to hurt mommy or mommy won't believe you, mommy will always believe you. And no matter how bad it is, as a family, there's nothing we can't overcome. Together we can conquer the world. And that is the safe space you create for anyone to come to you freely and openly without, because as a victim, I judged myself. I was like, maybe if I wasn't wearing that night dress, my uncle wouldn't have violated me. Maybe if I wasn't playing there, I wouldn't have been violated. So we judge ourselves. And that is why when a victim comes forward, it's only to a person that creates that safe space.
What was the beauty that came out of you giving your ashes to God?
Oh, they are endless. They are endless. Because I gave my ashes to God, I can look at myself in the morning and I can say, you are beautiful, you are fearless, you are brave, you are a champion. Whereas in the past, all I could see was this ugly, dark girl that had anger and pain. And because I gave my ashes to God, his beauty arose inside of me to a point where the day that I met my husband, to me, he saw me for the woman I am today. In fact, he wrote a letter describing the woman I am today. And as crazy as it sounds, when I read that letter, I'm like, Lord, this is everything I prayed for. This is everything I prayed for. I prayed for a man that would be strong enough to carry the weight of the abuse that I suffered. Not just physically strong, but emotionally, mentally, socially, spiritually, and psychologically. Because it doesn't sit in any man to be married to a woman that's been abused. Not any man can love a woman that's been abused. And
It's
the
a
day I met,
calling.
yes, it's a tall ask. It's a tall, tall ask. The day I met him, he told me, "You are my wife." I'm like, "Boy, you crazy.
Wow. You
You
don't
are
know what
so,
I've been.
you don't know what I've been through. You don't even know me. How are you going to call me your wife?" And I said to him, "If I tell you what I've been through, you're going to run away." And his response was, "Even if you tell me today that you can't have kids, I'm not going to run away." He says, "Because God created you for me, from me.
Wow.
So there's nothing you can say that will make me run away." This year we're celebrating 17 years of marriage. God
Wow.
restored my womb. I have 4 amazing kids. And the beauty of my ashes, I now have an organization called Sisterhood, where I empower women, men, and children that has been abused. Yes, I said men, because as blindsided as we may be in our society, men are also being abused. Men are being abused
Yes.
by men, and men are being abused by women. Sisterhood is my baby that we birthed in 2017.
Yeah.
So Sisterhood came forth as a result of there was a brutal murder of a young lady in 2017 that was brutally murdered by a boyfriend. And the death of Karabo Mokoena and the gruesomeness of her death just sat with me so deeply rooted. For nights I couldn't sleep. And I knew that I needed to do something, but I didn't know how. And I gathered a few ladies and said, "Please, can we do something?" And we started off, Sisterhood started off as a community project, but it then grew and it is now a registered NPO. We make use of skills development. We develop women's skills in terms of enabling them on signs of abuse, equipping them so that they can self-sustain and move away from these abusive relationships. So that's the one part of my beauty that's been turned to ashes. The second part, and I think this is also one of the biggest, and hence the subtitle, Overcoming the Weight of Sexual Assault. As a married woman, at some point, intimacy in marriage became a weight that I had to overcome. So I've then birthed a ministry called Leading Ladies, where I coach married women how to be intimate with their husbands without using intimacy as punishment, how to lovingly give themselves to their husbands as an act of worship.
Now, when is the book coming out? Do you have a date?
Because of lockdown, we were supposed to launch the 2nd of May, right? So with lockdown, everything has been on hold with the printers. But I spoke to the publisher yesterday. Everything is on track again. So we're looking at launching towards the end of June. The book physically launching, but we'll have a book launch gathering with people towards the end of the year, because obviously I'm thinking people won't be too open to come out in gatherings once the lockdown has been lifted.
Yeah. That's amazing. I wish you all the best. I mean, there are so many things that we could delve into, and I want people to go and get the book and learn from this. And you mentioned there's a website and more information, because I sense a lot of content, a lot of a big ministry, in the way you are tackling the different aspects, the marriage, the sisterhood. There's just so much. So where is Leyonie Marais going, and what's her vision?
So my vision They say, I believe if your vision isn't big enough, if your vision doesn't scare you, it's not big enough, right?
Yes.
So my vision for Leyonie Marais, firstly, the website is www.leoniemarais.co.za.
Yeah.
My book is not just for the abuse or the rape victim or
Yes.
survivor. My book is
Yeah.
for the rapist. My book is for the husband that abuses his wife. My book is for the husband married to a wife that comes from abuse. My book is destined for greatness because it has a message of hope, of grace, utter grace, because it is only by grace that I am who I am today. It is only by grace that I have the ministry and the NPO and the book, because the grace of God revealed to me that you cannot keep the story to yourself. Women, men, and children are bound as a result of this. And because the Bible says, my prayer is that you will prosper and be in good health as your soul prospers. The reason why we don't prosper physically is because our soul is in bondage with unforgiveness and bitterness and resentment. The minute you forgive, you open yourself to blessings. Because to me, I believe if I did not forgive, I would not have met my husband. Because again, remember, I said you attract what you radiate. If I didn't forgive, I would have attracted another broken man that would have come along and broken me further. If I didn't forgive, I wouldn't have had my children. If I didn't forgive, I wouldn't have had sisterhood. I wouldn't have had leading ladies. And most importantly, I wouldn't have had my book. Because no great book can be written from a bleeding point. You cannot stand on a stage and deliver a testimony while bleeding. Because what impact are you going to make to the nation, to the people you're testifying to, if you are bleeding? And I had to grow to that point of realizing that it's time to shake off the dust. It's time to shake it off, because I've got greatness inside of me. And the greatness inside of me determines what I shake off and how soon I shake it off. I cannot reach my destination, my greatness, if I'm still bound by bitterness, unforgiveness, resentment, and hate. The level of my greatness depends on me shedding this weight. And that is why I had to shed the weight.
The cost of carrying the weight is too much.
It's too much. It's too much. There is a globe that's waiting to hear your story. If I have given up while I was in that valley, I would have prolonged the healing process of little girls whose lives I had made impact in the last 3 years. If I had quit one morning, I wouldn't have made the impact that I have already made. If I decided to give up long ago, lives wouldn't have been changed the way God used me by sharing my testimony. So I knew in my heart of hearts, if I quit today, someone else is going to be bound longer. If I quit today, someone else might commit suicide. If I quit today, someone's marriage might not be restored. And that is what pushed me. The greatness that God showed me for where He was taking me to drove me to shed the weight, to overcome the weight that tried to beset me from the greatness that God had in store for me. It was no longer about me. It was about the greatness that God had in store for me.
It goes back to that moment where you said, Lord, use me. Thank you so much, Leyonie, for your amazing testimony, impactful. And, the action queen spirit right there. You have something to give. Now go forth and multiply. Lots of Leonies.
Yes! Thank you so much for having me, and thank you to your viewers. I really appreciate it. I do not take this opportunity lightly.